grinding every day. Long hours, no backup, no accountability. That ends now. The Empower Solopreneur Mastermind gives you one simple advantage: a weekly power session that turns isolation into domination. Every Friday morning on Zoom, you'll get real coaching and real feedback to make real moves. Join a group of driven professionals in a program designed for solopreneurs and people working at home. Stop getting stuck. Start scaling. Seats are limited. Lock in yours today at modernobserver.com/empower-mastermind.
Extreme weather hits the U.S. A new terrorist group hits Europe. Honda cutting EVs and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. More than 200 million Americans face dangerous weather Monday as blizzards, tornadoes, triple-digit heat, and flooding hit the country simultaneously from coast to coast. Blizzards buried parts of Michigan, Wisconsin, and Minnesota with up to 2 feet of snow, while the Mid-Atlantic braced for damaging winds topping 70 miles per hour and possible tornadoes. Schools closed across North Carolina, and federal workers in Washington were sent home early. Airlines canceled more than 3,000 flights Monday as the storm system collided with the TSA staffing crisis and spring break travel. Phoenix is expected to hit 100 degrees 5 straight days this week, something the city has recorded in March only once before. A separate Kona storm dumped more than 20 inches of rain on parts of Maui over the weekend, triggering landslides and flooding that washed out roads and stranded travelers on the islands. A new terrorist group with suspected links to the Iranian regime emerged in Europe last week. The Islamic Movement of the Companions of the Right has claimed responsibility for 4 attacks on Jewish targets across the continent. A synagogue in Liege, Belgium, was the first target of an explosive attack on Monday. An arson attack on a Rotterdam synagogue followed overnight on Friday, and an explosive device was set off at a Jewish school in Amsterdam the next evening. Several sources have linked an additional attack at a Jewish site in Greece on Wednesday with the group, though no specifics were given about the target or method of the attack. President Trump called on U.S. allies, including NATO, to help reopen the crucial waterway for transporting oil, which Iran has effectively closed amid the war. Trump claimed yesterday that numerous countries have told me they're on the way, yet many close allies have not jumped to send ships. Germany said yesterday it would not. Japan and Australia also appeared unlikely to participate, and the UK and France said they were still considering the issue. Meanwhile, Trump, who also sought to get China involved over the weekend, said yesterday he had asked to push back his planned trade meeting with Xi Jinping by about a month because of the war. Cuba's electric grid collapsed yesterday, leaving around 10 million without power. The island nation's grid operator said on social media it is investigating the latest blackout, part of a series of outages, the latest of which triggered a rare violent protest in Havana over the weekend. Senate Republicans are planning to take over the Senate floor this week in a bid to pass the Safeguard American Voter Eligibility, also known as the SAVE Act, setting up a major test for Senate Majority Leader John Thune, who is under pressure from Trump and the MAGA base to extend the debate over voting reform for as long as possible. GOP senators are playing their cards close to the vest ahead of this week's marathon debate over the Save America Act, which would require people registering to vote to show documented proof of citizenship. Honda announced a $15.7 billion write-down of its electric vehicle business last week as the company shifts its U.S. strategy to account for weak consumer demand for EVs. The second largest automaker in Japan said Thursday that it will restructure its EV business and cancel 3 planned battery-powered EV models that were going to be built and sold in the U.S. market. Demand for EVs has pulled back in recent years as consumers have shown a preference for hybrid vehicles, while President Donald Trump's administration has pulled back tax credits that helped incentivize EV purchases. That's the Raw Naked Truth for March 17th, 2026. You can catch every episode of the Raw Naked Truth Daily News Brief, as well as our sister podcast, Carnivore Radio, with news analysis and commentary, and the rest of the Xvadio Podcast Network at xvadio.com, the Apple Podcast app, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.